Harvester Ed, I'm getting pretty hungry, aren't you?
I'm starving.
Come on over.
We've been working all day long.
We have.
Man,
Let's get something to eat, shall we?
What we got in here?
I don't know. I think we got a bunch of food in here.
I think that's some good
Oh my
stuff.
gosh, we got some stuff over here and over there. Hey,
Some yogurt.
Whoa.
You should just eat the yogurt. Never mind over there.
but there might be something really good in here.
Well, all right.
Okay, let's check it out, shall we?
Oh,
gee.
gross, Harvester.
That's
Bill.
really gross.
Oh no.
You know what that reminds me of?
What?
Gross margin.
That reminds you of gross
Well,
margin?
it's gross, isn't it?
Man, you live and sleep this stuff,
Oh,
huh?
I love gross margin. I
Oh,
love
man.
gross food. But let's go find out how to make more gross margin, shall we?
That's a
the
really-
right gross margin.
Yeah, that's a good idea.
Let's do it. Come on.
Let's get rid of that one.
Oh,
Ooh,
God, let's
no.
go. Let's get out of here.
Get that. Let's go out to eat.
Head Harvester Bill Arden from the West Coast.
Head Harvester Ed LaFlamme from the East Coast. Now, we're going to talk about what gross margin is, because it's really, really important. And there's a number of items that make up the gross margin. And of course, there's a number of items that make up your financials, okay? So if you looked at your profit loss statement, we call it the P&L, you're going to see on the top is your revenue, then your gross margin, then your indirect overheads, general and administrative, and then lastly, your net profit. Those are the components of a P&L.
Yeah, pretty critical numbers here, folks. You know, revenue, if you don't have enough revenue at the right gross margin, it's not going to be pretty fun.
Right.
It's not going to be very fun at all. It's going to be pretty ugly, right?
Right.
So here's what we need to do. We need to look at gross margin, the right amount of gross margin, not only dollars, but percent. And we're going to have a 5-step program to show you how to get the right gross margin, right? So you look at the very center. So you have your revenue. This is the definition of gross margin or gross profit. You take your revenue and you subtract your direct costs. Direct costs are the workforce that are actually performing the work on the job site, plus their payroll taxes, plus their worker comp insurance, plus their materials. Those are all what we call direct costs. Subtract that from your revenue, and that's gross margin, is what's left over. You can divide that by your revenue. That tells you your percent of gross margin.
Absolutely.
So divide your gross margin by total revenue, gets you your percent of gross margin.
So just one point I'd like to make, when you're doing those items, make sure when it's called burden, that's the overheads, make sure you include the federal and state unemployment. That's part of it. Okay, good. So what's your company's gross margin? Do you know what it is? You should know what it is. You should know what it was for last year. You should know what it is for every month, and you should know what it is year to date, okay? Because it's really, really, really important
So
to
you have an
do
exercise for them to do?
that. Absolutely.
What, pray tell, might that be?
What you need to do is take the overall revenue, the top line, and then subtract all of your direct costs from that, okay? And by the way, that includes subcontractors and includes your overtime, okay? That's all part of doing the job. That's what we're talking about, the cash it costs to do the job. So you have your labor, your tax, workers' comp, and materials. So you take that number and then you divide that by your revenue, okay? And then you're going to get a percentage.
Percent of gross margin.
Yes.
Yeah.
And so it could be 40, 45, 50, some are as high as 55. That's unusual. I've worked with many companies that I go in the first time when I first work with them, even at $5 million, they're at 37.
Yeah.
That's very low. That's almost no profit. So that could be a real big problem.
Yeah, our first threshold when you become a one-to-one customer or after assessment is to get to that first benchmark at 45% gross margin.
Yeah.
That's the minimum we want to get you up to. And then we want to move you up from 45 to 50 plus.
Absolutely.
And that's just your overall gross margin. You may have it higher in one revenue stream and lower another, but the combined overall revenue minus your direct costs
Right.
to get your gross margin should be 45%. So go back and take a look do a quick exercise there. And so stay tuned. We're going to do 5 steps on how to get to the right gross margin. So stay tuned. This is Head Harvester Bill Arden from the West Coast.
Head Harvester Ed LaFlamme from the East Coast.
Now go out there and get the right gross margin, will you?